Welcome to the Abundance Zone, offering you tips and tools for supercharging your ability to attract more of what you desire into your life. Learn how to step into the Abundance Zone and stay there more consistently and watch your life transform. Hello, this is Dr. Eve DeLunas. At any given moment in time, you are either aligned with your false self or ego, or with your essence, which is your true self. While your ego lowers your vibration considerably, your essence puts you in a very high energetic state. In this episode of the Abundance Zone, I will be talking about how you can tell if you're coming from ego or essence. In future episodes, I will discuss how you can begin spending more time aligned with your essence, the real you. Your ego's primary job is to keep you safe, and it does that really well. Mostly, it does that using the primary tool it has, which is fear. Not just fear of stepping off the side of a bridge, which can be a very helpful kind of fear, but fear of placing your toe out of your comfort zone, which often is not a very helpful kind of fear. As I've said in previous episodes, fear is a very low frequency and helps keep you out of the abundance zone. The ego operates out of programming with faulty software. It holds false, limiting beliefs about you, about other people, about life in general. It makes up stories, and it's not a source of truth about anyone or anything, although we treat it as if it is. Your ego wants and needs to maintain control. It's clever and sneaky and knows how to capture your attention. It's easier to see the ego in other people than it is to see it in ourselves. But believe me, we all have an ego, and it's active a good part of the time. What's important is not to judge the ego when you see it, because judging it is just the ego judging itself for having an ego. In other words, it's just the ego slipping in through the back door. All of us humans have an ego. We can't get rid of it. But as you will see, we can allow it to have less and less influence over us over time. Our egos remind us that we're all imperfect humans, and that's okay. They're programmed to be a part of us. So what are some of the qualities associated with the ego? Get ready, because it's a long list, and I'm afraid it doesn't represent the best of who we are. However, our essence does, and we'll get to that later. Our human egos are critical of ourselves and other people. They're judgmental, blaming, selfish, unkind, gossiping, insensitive, addictive, greedy, prejudiced, jealous, and insecure, to name just a few of the ego's traits. Our egos love drama and enjoy seeing themselves as victims. They need to be right. They demand attention from others. They like to feel superior or inferior. Some like to be pleasing. They want to appear perfect. They resist change. They're very opinionated. Needless to say, our egos create a great deal of suffering for us. And they're meant to, because the road to self-realization is one in which we recognize the clever maneuvers of our egos and stop allowing them to be in control. By the way, if a voice is telling you at this point that you don't have an ego, that's definitely your ego talking. So, the goal is to grow spiritually, to evolve and raise our energy frequency by identifying less and less with the ego and more with the essence. The less time we spend in ego and the more time we spend in essence, the more time we're spending in the abundance zone, because our ego, again, takes us out of the abundance zone. Well, let's look at the essence, your true self, your divine self. Now that we've kind of talked about the worst human qualities that we all have to contend with from time to time, because they are inside of each and every one of us. Your essence, the real you, the true you, your divine self, holds a beautiful energy that is loving, compassionate, clear, expansive, uplifting, courageous, wise, honorable, humble, creative, kind, flowing, joyful, and peaceful. What a contrast to the ego, isn't it? When you are aligned with your essence, you express your true nature, the highest and the best within you. You embrace all life as you feel yourself a part of the oneness that unites everyone and everything. You live in wonderment at the miracle of life that surrounds you in each and every moment. Your mind is quiet, your emotions calm, your body honored as a vessel for your divine essence to experience the joys available in the sensory world. So the key is to become aware of when we're coming from ego. And I've kind of given you a brief overview right now of what ego is all about and what essence is all about. So let's look at some questions you can ask yourself if you're wondering in this moment, is this my ego talking or is this my essence communicating with me? First thing, ask yourself, am I motivated by fear or love in this moment? Ego keeps you stuck using fear. If you open your heart, you'll be hurt. If you take that job and leave your old secure position, you'll be unsafe. If you start that business, you will fail. Essence motivates and moves you towards your highest good with love. You're inspired within, guided towards what brings you true joy. This does mean stepping out of your comfort zone, but doing so is also what makes life thrilling, exciting, interesting. We never quite know what's around the next corner. Essence says, wouldn't you love to open your heart in this moment to this beautiful individual? Essence says, if you take that job, you'll be doing something you would love to do that would bring you enormous joy and well-being. Essence says, if you start that business, you will grow and develop so many new parts of yourself and find yourself in the flow of creating something brand new in your life. That's how essence speaks to us. How different from how ego speaks to us, isn't it? A second question. Are you judging what is your point of focus? Or are you appreciating what is your point of focus? Noticing something is human, but the ego notices what's wrong with it. The ego judges it as being good or bad, right or wrong, correct or incorrect, appropriate or inappropriate, wanted or unwanted. Essence doesn't judge. Essence appreciates what is, appreciates the current beauty, the current beautiful qualities, appreciates what is to be appreciated in each moment. A third question: are you living in this moment, in the past, the present, or the future? You access essence when you are living in the now, fully present in the moment. That's where you find your essence, because your essence is always in the now. Ego keeps you out of the present moment because that's where it has its power over you. So ego keeps you busy with a steady stream of thoughts, and it can be thoughts about the past, usually thoughts that make you feel guilty, sad, angry, hurt, or depressed, or thoughts about the future, which are perhaps catastrophic, envisioning worst case scenarios, creating fear, creating worry. Those are the areas that the ego prefers to focus on, not the present moment. The ego is never in the present moment. It is always somewhere else, either lost in thought or taking you back to a past memory or creating anxiety about the future. And another question: are you resisting what is or accepting it? This is a really good way for you to identify if you're an ego or essence. The ego likes to resist reality. It gives it a sense of purpose. This can't be. This must not be. It likes to push against whatever is. We shouldn't have this traffic to contend with right now. We shouldn't be experiencing this rainstorm while we're wanting to be out on the beach. Pushing against nature, pushing against things that are way beyond each of our individual points of control. Your essence never pushes against what is. Your essence accepts what is. In fact, it accepts people, it accepts events, it accepts things, it accepts you as you are, and all of these other people and things as they are. So essence comes from a place of accepting what is. That doesn't mean, being in essence, that you don't want to change what is, or choose to change it, or choose to just do something about it, or if what is a problem for you, that you don't go about resolving the problem. It's not a sense of complacency. It's just a sense of not pushing against what is, not railing against reality, because that truly is a waste of energy, and it also tends to attract more of the same. So as we rail against traffic, we're likely to encounter more and more and more traffic along the way, because of course that's a part of our vibration, and we attract what we vibrate. So just something to think about. A final question that you can consider is, do you feel a sense of physical constriction in this moment, or physical expansion? With essence, we feel a sense of expansion, a sense of energy flow, a sense of lightness of being. Whereas when we are in ego, our energy is constricted, it's tight, it's stuck, it's not flowing, it feels heavy, it feels like it's weighing us down. So that's another clue as to whether you're coming from ego or essence. Well, folks, I have much more to say about these concepts, these constructs, these ways of looking at ourselves. And especially about what you can do to stop identifying so strongly with the ego. But those are going to be in another podcast episode, because we are out of time. And so I want to say again, thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to remind you, if you want some free guided meditations, information about live free question and answer sessions to come up in the future with me, lots of other information about the things that I'm talking about in these podcast episodes, then I recommend that you sign up for my monthly Abundance Zone newsletter at theabundancezone.net. Scroll down to the bottom of the page at abundancezone.net and you'll see a place where you can sign up there. And of course, I don't share your name or information with anyone. And you can unsubscribe at any time. And it's just monthly. You don't get your inbox flooded with emails from me. I just don't do that. Well, folks, thank you so much again for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful week. Bye.